brava. Molto brava. It was founded in the 1100. So even 1100.
Wow.
So even pre-medieval.
Wow.
And it's been always here. Like the same, now the hotel once was a village and there were people living there.
Oh, wow.
Then, it used to have bits and pieces of vineyard, but let's say that it rose to fame in 2003, where we had Massimo Ferragamo acquiring the property.
Oh.
Massimo Ferragamo, the son of Salvatore Ferragamo,
Oh, wow.
the designer. Yeah. So he's been in charge of the property from 2003 to 2022, and then he sold everything back.
Ah, okay. Oh.
Now we are under London management. So let's say that once that Massimo Ferragamo united the cellar, the hotel, and the golf course.
Ah, okay.
Once he sold everything back, we got divided in 3 different companies.
Okay.
We all collaborate with each other, obviously, because we are all
Yeah,
Castiglion del
and
Bosco, but we are managed by different people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is the vinification area. Now, I'm gonna give you details about how we harvest. As I said before, feel free to ask questions.
Okay.
Now, vinification here means harvesting, fermentation, then the racking and the final maceration. So we have 62 hectares of
62.
Of vines, and then we have 2,000 hectares of land.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Afterwards, I'm gonna show you a map so you see, the dimensions. Let's say that. Now, when Massimo Ferragamo acquired the property, we used to have only 30 hectares, so he added the 32 more hectares.
Wow.
Okay, and now we stopped at the 62 hectares, which gives us roughly between 200,000 to 250,000 bottles per year.
Oh, okay.
Which is not a massive number. We are a medium to large wine company.
Okay.
In terms of land, we are one of the 5 biggest wine companies that there are here in Montalcino.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, we harvest between September and October. We do everything by hand. We don't use any machine.
Okay.
Because we do 2 selections, one in the field and one is done here. So we take away anything that is dried, moldy or not ripened. Okay, so we want just the best quality for our wines, obviously, like everybody else. Then when the grape arrives here, we destem the grape. This is the only mechanical operation there is. And then the whole berries are going to be pushed on top of the roof. And then from the roof, they're going to be shipped down inside the tank.
Okay.
Okay. So layer by layer, the grapes are gonna, crush each other in a gentle way. So fermentation will start spontaneously and with no induction, basically. Then we fill the container up to an 80%.
80%. Okay.
Yeah. And then we leave a 20% with nothing, basically, because what happens is that the mass will raise and go down during fermentation, so we don't want any spillage. During fermentation, which if we are lucky normally lasts 10 to 15 days, we're going to do the pump overs. So pump overs basically is the extraction of liquid from here that is going to be pushed on top of the skin cap.
So
by doing this circular motion, we're going to extract more colors and tannins for our wines. Thing is though, mind you, the grape is going to be green inside. What gives the color is just the outer part of the grape, okay? The red part. Once the fermentation is over, we're going to do the racking. So basically, we're going to separate the liquid part from the skin part. The liquid part is going to be put in another vat. Once the skin part, once it reaches this, we're going to take it out and push it in that press. The grape there, the skin of the grape there. And then inside that press, we have balloon, bravissima, that will inflate and deflate. And by doing this, it will squeeze gently the grape, the skin of the grape. So we have more liquid extraction coming through that, and then the skin of the grape after this procedure is going to be completely dried up, but not crushed. So it's a whole skin of the grape. We're going to collect it, then we're going to give it to the distillery to produce grappa.
Grappa.
Exactamente. Yeah. So what happened here is that we use everything in our let's say fermentation, in our vinification. The thing that we use less is the stem of the grape. So the
okay.
stems normally are not used because they give too much of a green tannin.
Tannin.
But, for example, sometimes for our Campo del Drago single vineyard, we do fermentation with the bunches of grapes. So the stems are included by a 60%. But that is just for that kind of wine, or sometimes for the America as well, which is our Rosso di Montalcino, because we need to give it a little bit of more structure.
Oh,
let's
yes,
say that.
yes.
Yeah.
So you don't use any, like it's only by the natural
See,
press?
see.
Okay.
We don't use, you see that sometimes you have the destemmer and below we have the press that will crush it. We don't have any screw, we don't use that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Natural weight.
Exactly. We can afford this kind of luxury. If you go to another wine company, they have no other choices.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
here
yeah.
we can do that because we have a great team
Okay.
that operates this
Great.
way.
Yeah. Buongiorno. Wow, 멋있다. Wow. So you use oak from France and Italy?
No, Italian oak is not used here.
Oh.
Now, when you come to Montalcino, since it's the DOC and DOCG territory, we have an extreme amount of rules to follow. Here in Montalcino, we have roughly 50 rules that we need to follow to produce our wines.
50?
50,
Oh my
actually
gosh.
53, maybe
Wow.
even more. But obviously, I'm not going to tell them all to you because I don't even know how to be honest with you. So now, I'm going to give you the bare facts. First thing first, when you go inside a wine company in Montalcino, a cellar, you see two kinds of oak. You might see two kinds of oak, either the French cask or the Slavonian
Slavonian.
cask.
Oh, okay.
So normally the big cask is Slavonian, the small cask is French.
French.
Nowadays also the big cask can be French. So this is the example. Both the big one and the small one are all French oak.
Oh.
Okay, we don't use any Croatian cask here. And this is just because the winemaker prefers to use the French oak. It gives us a more round, let's say, palate than the Croatian cask would. Just because here we have the vines that are higher in altitude. So higher altitude means that we have a little bit more of acidity. So by default, you need to use something that will round this acidity up, let's say that. Okay. Then coming to the grape, obviously we are gonna use only 100% Sangiovese Grosso grape, which is different from the Sangiovese from Chianti. Sangiovese Grosso means that you have a thicker skin. Thicker skin calls for higher acidity and higher tannins. Okay, which combined with the little, aging in the oak gives us wine that you can keep roughly for 20-30 years with no problem whatsoever. Yeah, and then the aging. Now, when it comes to Rosso di Montalcino, we can age the wine for 1 year. The government doesn't care if it's stainless steel vat, concrete, or oak, as long as you give that 1 year of aging, plus 4 months of bottle.
Okay.
Okay. If it's Brunello di Montalcino, it's at least 2 years of oak, and at least 4 months of bottle, 5 years of aging in total. That's why today you're gonna have a 2020 Brunello, okay, to taste, which is the latest release as we are in 2025. Okay. Then you have the single vineyard. The single vineyard is like the normal Brunello when it comes to aging. It's just that there is a specific vineyard exactly that has X characteristic. That's why you want to do the single vineyard with that one. For us, for example, is the Campo del Drago. I'll show it to you in the map afterwards. The Campo del Drago, we created the selection there because it's the oldest vineyard that we have. And then it's in the Galestro soil, which is from volcanic origin, which gives us a lot of minerality in the wine. So that's why you want to parcelized and age it by itself. And then we have the Riserva. Brava. The Riserva is 6 years of aging, okay? 2 years of oak minimum, 6 months minimum of bottle. We produce it only on the best vintages because the Riserva is the highest expression of the Brunello, basically.
So you only have red wine?
Si.
Okay, no white.
Here we produce 2 whites, and one of them we use the cleaver down there, which is clay. Okay, so we have 2 whites. One is the Chardonnay, which our winemaker collects in Arezzo, and then she brings it here for the vinification. And another one is the Undici, which is a hybrid created by Manzoni in the 50s. It's a midway between Pinot Blanc and Riesling, and we produce it on top of the cellar, basically. So on your way out, if you look back, you'll see a very, very, very tiny vineyard, and that's where we produce our whites, which is produced locally.
Okay.
And for the white, we use 3 months of clay and then 3 months of bottles. So we want it very, very fresh. And here in front of you, you have the Zodiac collection, but I've been told that you already tried it.
Oh, yes, yes, Georgia, yes.
Exactly. So, needless to say, this is the highest expression of our winemaking, because here you have a selection, so single vineyard and Riserva. Okay? So we produce roughly between 500 to 800 bottles per year. If you see, the barrels are completely different from anything else, so we just use them for these Zodiac collection. And Zodiac collection because it's based on the Chinese zodiac.
Oh, yes,
so,
yes.
This year we came out with the snake, next year we're gonna come out with the horse. Aging goes about for 7 years, 3 years ago, and 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why I saw that all the paintings of animals.
Exactly, exactly. When you go inside a wine company in Montalcino, I think any other DOC or DOCG company, if you find the single vineyard Riserva together, that's the highest of the pyramid.
Yes.
So if you go in the pyramid of certification, you have the IGT, which can be called the Super Tuscan as well. Okay, Super Tuscan
Like the
IGT.
Chardonnay you make?
Yes, IGT, exactly right. That's not a Super Tuscan, the Chardonnay, but it's an IGT. But that's, So you have the IGT, then you have the DOC Rosso di Montalcino, then you have Brunello, single vineyard Riserva, and single vineyard Riserva at the top, all DOCG. Okay? Winemaking for you. So we produce 3 kinds of Rosso here in Castiglion del Bosco. One ages is just in stainless steel vat. One ages just in concrete, and one ages just in oak. But the concrete is used for blending the different casks.
Okay. Just for blending.
From the vinification, the wine moves here. From here, it moves through there, and then from there, it moves for the pre-bottling phase. So when you need to put together the casks, you're gonna use the concrete because the concrete doesn't give anything to the wine. It's neutral, but then it's still porous, so you have oxygen, mixing it up. Let's say that. This is our shop, and all the design is by Chiara Ferragamo.
Wow.
So as you see, we produce grappa, Vinsanto Passito,
Vinsanto.
then honey and olive oil. And
even honey.
Brandy. Yeah, olive oil because we have 10 hectares of olive trees.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is the undici that I was telling you before. The white wine that we have on top of the cellar. And it's called undici. Undici is 11 in English. 11? Because 11 are the rows that we use to produce this wine. That's why we produce roughly 2,000 bottles of it.
Wow.
It's very limited edition.
So these are like all designed by Ferragamo?
These are chosen by Ferragamo. Yeah. So Chiara is in charge of she likes design objects, so she will tell you what to buy in her own taste. Obviously, she will speak with the managers, but then we have, high-end object for the wine world, and, you see, for example, this is for eyes.
I had that one.
The Riserva, it's so 1100 because of the foundation. So 1100 is 1100 because of the foundation of Castiglion del Bosco. That's the Riserva.
너무 예쁜데? Wow.
Do you remember what vintage you had of the Riserva?
I think 16.
Okay, cool.
여기 있다. Campo del Drago.
Did you try the Campo del Drago as well?
Campo del Drago. He tried. 기억나요, 이거 레이블? Campo del Drago?
I need to check the wines that I have, but it's gonna be Rosso, Brunello, Riserva, and then, and then either the white wine, because I'm pretty sure you didn't try it, or maybe the single vineyard. I need to check if I have it open.
Wow.
So that's why I'm asking you what you tried, because I don't want you to try the same. The history behind it, actually behind the label, because inside you already saw what we do in the cellar. The outside is part of the Chiara Ferragamo program. She does a contest every year, and with this contest, she worldwide contest, she will choose the best painting that will represent the vintage that year. So based on the Chinese sign, but then also the Tuscan culture. So it's gonna mix the two together. So this, for example, is the best expression of it. So
wild
Wild boar,
yeah.
exactly. So this is the year of the pig, but this is the wild boar because we have plenty of them in Tuscany, and then you have the logo of Castiglion del Bosco behind it.
Wow.
So you respect the Chinese zodiac, but then the Tuscan culture, and then the paintings will be sold in charity.
Charity.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the Salvatore Ferragamo design is this one.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Watch out for the step, man.
Gotcha.
This is our member cellar or wine club.
우와. 우와. 장난 아니다. Wow.
So we have a wine club here in Castiglion del Bosco, and we have 3 levels of subscription. This is the 1100 one, so the 1100 one that comes with a locker.
Wow.
So people would access this by buying a locker, renting out a locker, but you buy it in fact. You're gonna have some wine with it, but then if you go around, you see that the wine is not just from us. So you can do what you want with that.
Wow.
So you have those people that will only collect the zodiac, for example, the 4th locker from the top.
Yes.
Or you have those people that will collect some wine from us, but wine from anything and everybody else in the world. And they can do what they want with their locker. So basically, if they ask us to send them wine, we're gonna send them wine.
Wow.
Or otherwise, they will send us wine just to put.
Wow.
This is your private area.
Ooh. Ah. So you have all the map. Wow. Yep.
As we said before, 11 is the Incrocio Manzoni, and Incrocio Manzoni because it's a hybrid created by Manzoni, a winemaker in the 50s, and it's a midway between Pinot Blanc and Riesling.
Oh.
We produce it here at the top of the cellar. We have 11 rows of it. We roughly do 2,000 bottles, no more than
2,000?
that.
Wow.
Yeah. As I said, we do 3 months of aging in plate and 3 months of aging in the bottle.
Oh, okay.
Very easy to drink, very fresh to drink. But in saying this, is a complex one anyway. So not complex because you have a lot of aging, but complex because when you go to smell it and then drink it, you see that it's going to be a completely different thing. So you have white flowers, white peaches, white fruits at the nose, but then when you go to try it, it's a different thing. It's very dry, like the Riesling is, like the Pinot Blanc is, even though it's lingering anyway. So obviously it's not a medium body wine, but it's not like the easiest wine to drink.
Wow.
Comparing to the whites. And if you think about the fact that it's not aged in casks, but just in cider, it's a really cool wine in my opinion.
Interesting. Yeah, what I smell and what I taste is different.
Completely different. This is something that I really look forward in a wine because the thing is, if you smell it and you refine those smells in the wine, it's amazing. But I think it's even more interesting when you smell something and you taste something else. Always, thinking about the fact that it needs to be good, both the smell and the taste, obviously.
Can you give me the bottle?
Sure, ma'am.
Grazie.
Prego.
Wow. So I think this bottle is like almost consumed in this area, like Tuscany, right? Or in Italy. I don't think it like since you don't have that many productions. Right? I had a Rosso di Montalcino, but that one wasn't that with that G.
Yeah, I'm giving you what we normally don't give in tasting because we produce little of it.
Oh.
And I think you had either the De Masi or America. because these are the biggest one that we produce. The Gaugele is actually my favorite. That's why I prefer to give it a taste. Very easy.
Yeah, I had like just Rosso di Montalcino.
American.
Yeah, like. Not
Okay.
2018.
Actually, it's this one, Gaugele.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah, so the label changed.
Yeah.
Ah.
Because we started doing the Gaugele, I think in 2015 maybe.
Oh, okay.
So it's the newest release.
Oh.
The new entry.
So I had 18 and
This is 2022.
22.
2030 meters above the sea level, 2050, 2070.
Ah, okay.
The soil is mostly sand because we used to have ages ago. There used to
Yes,
be ocean here. So yeah, and the vineyard is right facing the golf course down below here. Is this one
okay.
here? Okay, so if you go down, golf course on the left, vineyard on the right.
Wow.
Okay. Cool. 1 year of concrete and then 1 year of bottle. It's an amazing Rosso di Montalcino in my opinion, and that's why the winemaker, even though she could have the option to turn it into a Brunello, she doesn't want to because it's already amazingly performing as a Rosso di Montalcino, and it should go that way.
And with the concrete, I think that's why it's so fresh.
See, because the thing is, it's fresh, but it's round as well. Like if you go to try the America, it's stainless steel bad, but it's not porous, obviously. So it just stays how you pick it. It just stays that way. But with the concrete remains neutral, but then you have porosity. So still there is a little bit of interaction with the outside. The interaction makes the wine a little bit more rounder. Whilst the Vigna dei Massi, it's an amazing Rosso di Montalcino, but it looks like this is Brunello, this is Vigna dei Massi, you know. So just a little bit like a tiny Brunello. This is something that nowadays, thank God, we don't use anymore as a definition, but because the Rosso finally got its own representation, but at the beginning, the Rosso was just called a Brunello that didn't make it, and this is completely a different thing. You know, the Rosso is the Rosso, Brunello is Brunello. What do you think about it? I think 2022 it's an amazing vintage as well.
So fresh.
Yep. Ideally, when we produce Rosso, Brunello, Reserve and Selection, ideally we go from the younger vines to the older vines. Okay. So the Brunello is our, let's say, the bottles that we produce the most. So we go from 80,000 to 100,000 bottles per year. If the vintage allows it, so even less. Our roof for the Brunello is 100,000 bottles. We can't produce more than that. So in that gap between the 80,000 and 100,000, sometimes we have the Reserva that we don't make. So obviously, if you don't produce the Reserva 1 year, it's not that we're gonna waste it. It's gonna be part of the Brunello. Okay. It's not just worth it giving 6 years of aging separately. It's gonna be part of the Brunello. So the Brunello, the one that you're gonna try, is the 2020. So latest release, amazing vintage. Now we always talk about the 2019, which was a great vintage per se. 2020 is still another amazing vintage. The difference is that in 2019 we had an autumn that behaved like an autumn. So extreme weather excursion that for us are life before we harvest the grape. Okay, so the ripening session was perfect. Very hot during the day, very cold during the night. So during the day you fixate the tannins, during the night you fixate the acidity. So it gets this round, sparked wine that you are ready to harvest it. In 2020 we didn't have that. In 2020 we had a very mild autumn. Okay, so very little weather excursion, which made us create a great wine, because if you think about the fact that here we go from 300 meters above the sea level, but here we are 430. Here we are very, very high. Here we have mostly limestone and clay, but we have a little bit of galestro as well. So you have a lot of minerality as well by itself. So actually, if you have milder weather, for us it's amazing because it gets to compensate the elevation, so the acidity that we already have in our wines. Obviously, the winemaker is going to create the best expression of the vintage, which is what is required if you want to do this job. But the 2020 is one of those wines that is perfect to drink now if you want spiked acidity and very lovely and velvety tannins. But it's one of those wines that ideally you can keep for a longer time.
Oh, yes.
Obviously. Thing is, for example, if you try the 2019, which I'm pretty sure you tried Brunello 2019 here and there, it's overall in the whole area is a very straightforward wine. Like you drink it, you know it's gonna be great. 2020, it gets a little bit to get to know itself, just because it had this mild autumn, so it's a little bit shyer. Still an amazing wine, but it will perform better within the vintages, within the years. Sorry.
Yeah, we had like 18 and 19.
See, what do you think about it?
18 was really elegant and good to drink now, and 19 was kind of heavy to drink now.
19, you need to wait. You need to wait. I'm drinking now, for example, if I have to choose between 18 and 19 to drink now, 18 for life. Because 18, the thing is that it was a very cold vintage, so a lot of people would expect a very unbalanced wine. By now, it's the best expression of the Brunello that we have. Whilst the 17, you feel that it was a very, very hot summer, so you smell it at the nose. A lot of alcohol. Not a lot of alcohol content, because our limit is 15 alcohol volumes per bottle. Another rule. But then the thing is, 18, I think it's very elegant. And the thing is, also, you need to look at the points and anything that we see, but at the same time, you don't have to have your judgment impaired by this, because a lot of things concerns the marketing, you know. So, for example, I'm from here, so every single vintage has its own peculiarity, and you need to take it for that, you know. Like, you can always expect 15, 16, 19, always these amazing vintages, because nature will do its own thing. But for example, nowadays, if you drink the 14, which was very manhandled by the, you know, marketing and popular opinion, if you drink it now, it's an amazing wine. So there are those vintages that you need to keep, and there are those vintages that you need to take the chance to drink them sooner rather than later, and that's the beauty of the wine. Once you understand the vintage, then the wine knowledge will follow, and the appreciation for the wine will follow.
And that's something that important information that I can only get from this area.
Because if you always go for the great ratings, if you look for the great ratings, you were never gonna drink that wine in 20 years, because you need to wait even more than 20 years. But if you understand the vintage, as I said, 2014 was a very rainy vintage, so oh my god, it's disgusting, whatever. No, because first thing first, if you say that a vintage is disgusting, you're not gonna sell it. That's the first rule, and we learned this the hard way here in Montalcino. First. Secondly, it was a rainy vintage, so it means it still has the tannin, still has the acidity, but maybe it has lower tannins, lower acidity. So maybe if I give it a little bit of bottle, I'm gonna be able to enjoy it sooner rather than later. That's it. So you need to understand how to work out the vintage and then adjust accordingly. That's the thing. This is how you do sales, you know?
Sure.
Because if you just market the great vintage, all the others gonna stay behind, and this is not fair, not just for the sale point of view, but because you work with Mother Nature. Otherwise, there is no point in working with Mother Nature if you want to always, you know, 100% when they're like over the top. So what do you think about the 2020?
Fresh. We should drink it now or in 5 years. I think it will turn great top, but it's drinkable from now. So that's the latest vintage.
5 years from the harvest. We are waiting with the 2021 with great expectation, because 2021 was an amazing vintage. So like 2019, 2015, 2016, but we had a massive hailstorm. So a lot of people didn't produce the rosso. So that's how you work with Mother Nature. But you need to explain these to people, otherwise people would think that, oh, this vintage is not good, so I'm not gonna buy it. By itself. Blind tasting. You smell it, you look at the color, you know, you think about it. And then I'll be right back in 5 minutes to see what you think of it, if you like it, which I hope so.
I love it.
And all the things that we spoke before. Okay? Be right back. Wait, this one.
그리고 그 약간 오래된 레드 와인에서 나는 향이 나니까.
뒷맛이 그냥 쫙 가라앉는 너무 좋다.
You know, but I wasn't sure. Like in the beginning, I thought it was between 15 to 20, but then
The color.
time got color and
Also lighter,
everything. I think it's before 2010.
For you, sir?
Similar, yeah.
Before 2010. Okay. So for you, it's the single vineyard 2010. Now, it's the single vineyard, but normally I don't put it this way. I just went according to the vintage, not according to the intensity of the wine. The reserve
okay.
will always go afterwards because it has more aging. But that is just a little thing. Now, this is the single vineyard 2010.
Okay.
Quindi complimenti ragazzi. Kudos on you, compliments. Yep.
I got it.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Brava, molto brava. Molto brava.
Yeah.
The methodical approach goes a long way.
It's worth coming all the way from Korea to Montalcino.
That's good. It's very good.
오 대박 빈티지까지. You know it's almost impossible to have the right answer for the vintage, but
This is true. This is true. I've been seeing a lot of people that maybe are way more exposed to the Brunello than you are, just because, you know, you're so far away from here, or we are so far away from you. And I have to say that you are among maybe my top 3 of people that understood the vintage and the kind of wine. Like, it's very rare. So compliment, guys.
They say export all these to US, right?